This is how you can easily gap shoot any shotgun run play. This is a super easy method and it works against all types of shotgun runs. It works against inside zones, counters, power runs, and outside zones. And it's the exact same method for all of them. So what we're gonna do in order to run this gap shoot is we need to find a 4 down lineman set where all 4 of our D linemen are approximately even spaced. And so right here, I'm in the formation nickel over, but there are plenty of other formations that you can do this out of, but nickel over happens to be in a lot of different playbooks. Now, the only adjustment we're gonna make before the snap is we're gonna slant our D line outside. So that's left on the D-pad and up on the right stick. Now, the final thing we have to do is user with this linebacker on the side of the running back. And so the running back's on the right side. I'm going to user with the right side linebacker. Now, when the ball is snapped, regardless of what kind of run play it is, you're going to try and fly through the gap that will open up between your 2 defensive tackles. And in some cases, it'll be a pretty huge gap. You're always coming through there. And then depending on what kind of run it is, you'll of course adjust your trajectory accordingly. But to start off, let's look at inside zone. And this is probably the easiest one that this is the easiest gap shoot ever. You'll see how easy this is. We're gonna go ahead and snap this ball, and there's just an absolutely enormous gap for you to run through and easily bring the running back down. If you look at the replay real quick, you can see this is about as massive of a gap as you'll ever have to run through with your linebacker, and there will be absolutely nowhere for your opponent to go, and that is a tackle for an easy loss. Now, let's look at some other shotgun run plays. Let's go to counter Y. Now, on this one, we're once again going through the exact same gap, and in this case, we will sometimes end up engaging with one of these pulling blockers, but that's okay as long as we still plug the running lane. So if we go ahead and snap this ball, come through the gap and come around right here, you can see that we completely took away where the running back was trying to go on the counter. Like, did we make the tackle ourselves? No, but that's okay, because look at what happens here. The counter is designed to go to the outside. We completely took away that lane. There is nowhere for the running back to go. He can't go outside. He is kind of forced to bounce it back inside, but we have defenders waiting for him in the middle, and now there is just absolutely nowhere for him to run. And so because of our gap shoot, because of our user flying through right here, occupying this blocker, and plugging the running lane, there is just absolutely nowhere for our opponent to go on this counter Y. Now, let's look at power run and outside zone. And for that, we need to go to a different formation. And so we can go ahead and call halfback power O for the offense. And on defense, we'll just call cover 3 sky once again, even though, like I said before, it doesn't actually matter. And I will say that these power O plays, they can get picked up more often than the inside zones and the counters, but you can still gap shoot these. And so if we go ahead and snap this ball, we're going to come through, and once again, we're able to make the tackle. As you can see, that one's a little bit tougher. I had to make the diving tackle. And so, like I said, I think that the power O's are the best against this. But as you can see, it's still a giant gap to get through. And it's kind of a 50-50 about whether or not number 66 here will come over and pick us up. You see that he was pretty close. And so I think that the dive did help in this case. But you can see that it's still a very serviceable gap shoot, even against a power O run. Now, the final run we have to look at is going to be the outside zone. Now, on these outside zone runs, you do not want to dive with your user. If you dive, you'll just completely take yourself out of the play. So you're just going to want to sprint through the line and just try to run down the ball carrier as he tries to take it around the edge. And so it's the exact same gap shoot, slant the D-line outside. When we go ahead and snap this ball, you're just going to fly right through this gap, try to run him down, and there you go. You have your tackle in the backfield. This gap shoot is definitely the cleanest and easiest against inside zone, but as you can see, against all 4 of these run plays, we have gaps that we can come through and make the tackle in the backfield. And so definitely get into practice mode, start with inside zone. That's the easiest way to learn it because that's when it's going to come through the cleanest and the gap will be enormous. And then once you're comfortable doing this against inside zone, you can go ahead and start running this against all other types of shotgun run plays as well.